Employer groups have slammed a survey showing Australians are working more unpaid overtime than almost any other country in the world. The Australia Institute survey found that despite the flexible labour market, only 1 in 5 employees are working the hours they want to work. According to the study, this imbalance was affecting the health and well-being of Australia's workforce. Here's Philip Lasker.
It's not hard finding people working unpaid overtime. Admitting it on camera is quite another matter.
Yes, particularly the industry that we work in, which is transport. A lot of colleagues do unpaid overtime on a regular basis, and would be quite a few hours every week.
The online survey of nearly 1,800 people finds that full-time workers want to work an average 2.5 hours less a week. But it was a different story for those already working under 15 hours a week.
Well, I work part-time, but I'm trying to get more hours, but they sort of give more hours to the full-timers, priority before me.
The survey concludes that trimming the standard work week to between 30 and 35 hours would create 390,000 jobs for the unemployed or those who want more work.
I think this is a fairly shallow response to what is a much more complex issue. I think if you ask any group of working Australians the simple question, would they like to be working shorter hours, you'd get a fairly predictable response.
But the respondents weren't asked to comment in isolation. They were asked to take their own financial circumstances into account.
Well, if you look at employees only, that is not business owners, Australians work the longest hours in the Western world. And we're only beaten by Japan and Korea. And of course the Japanese have a word for death by overwork. I don't think we want to get to that point.
50% of respondents said work prevented them from spending enough time with the family in the week leading up to the survey. Nearly 50% said work stopped them doing physical exercise, and it also affected what they ate.
But also there are mental health implications. It's been estimated that a worker with untreated depression in the workplace costs an organisation just under $10,000 a year.
The cost of taking on more full-time workers is one issue business groups say the study ignores, not to mention what they see as unrealistic notions of what the labour market can deliver.
We are already in a position where we are experiencing some significant skill shortages. To simply say that we can reduce working hours, that there is a pool of labour ready to step in and fill those hours, that's just not the reality for many workplaces.
But according to the study, workers donate 2 billion hours of work worth $72 billion to employers each year. That's 6% of GDP.
We are constantly on call, or many of us are constantly on call by phone, by email, and that takes a toll on the time we spend with family and the time we spend on things that are really important to us but aren't work.
Enslaved by technology and victims of a workforce shift from blue-collar to white-collar jobs, this image is now less representative of the Australian lifestyle.
And in case you're wondering, the Japanese word for death by overwork is karoshi.